All right. I'm going to do some technical things over here on my end, and then we will get into it. Okay, hello, welcome everybody. Y'all feel free to utilize the chats, and I'm going to turn everybody's cameras off. That way y'all aren't popping up the screen. Okay, hello. Hey. All right. Can everybody hear me okay? Let's do a volume check if y'all will let me know in the chats.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, yeah, one microphone over here. All right, everybody. I am so incredibly excited to see everybody here. I was trying to take a nap earlier and my brain was like, well, let's talk about this and this and this and this and this. And I was like, hey, we do not need this to be 5 hours long. Okay, we got everything that we need. I want to say that I am super proud of you for attending this for your inner children. I know that you also want to be here, but one of my intentions for this workshop is that your inner children have a space where they feel loved and supported and seen and heard, and they can have fun. And so you, as their higher self, heard that request from them, signed up for this workshop. And so thank you for being an amazing higher self to them. And so, how this is going to work, I'm going to go over some logistics here. One, we need to make sure we have a notepad and a pen. Okay. We're going to be doing some fun channeling activities with one another, and I'm going to be asking a lot of questions that you'll maybe want to write down as we go along. Okay. Another thing, we want to give ourselves grace to be silly gooses today. Hey, we need to get out of our logical and our analytical minds because that's boring. And oh, one second. Okay. Oh, let me see if I can fix my settings here. Hold on. Okay. Because it's boring. Okay. Ain't nobody trying to live in that life anymore. We're trying to live in whimsical realms. And so, what we need to do for our inner children is allow them to come forward to join us in this workshop today. And they are free to say whatever they would like in the comments. Everybody is going to celebrate and honor them for their unique ideas and their gifts and their talents and their perspectives. We're all going to experience a big squeezy hug from one another through this workshop. And so it is okay to allow that side of yourself to come forward to be seen today. We are going to be participating in the chat with one another. I'm going to be asking a lot of questions. I would love to hear you and your inner child's responses. So feel free to utilize the chat. Grab a notepad and a pen. I am going to be sending a replay of the workshop out, so welcome to you and also the persons who are going to be watching this in the future. So I will have that later this evening out to everyone. I also want to say if you are an energy healer or a practitioner yourself, you have a spiritual business, I want this to be a permission slip for you to also host events like this. When I first started getting into channeling and hosting group sessions, everything was really done on this very linear, formulaic outline and plan, and that's great. That's still healing. I wanted something that was a little bit more multidimensional and dynamic and wasn't so structured. And there's a lot of structure to what we're doing today, but at the same time, I want it to be about imagination and creativity and exploration. Your workshops do not have to look like what everybody else is doing. Okay, you have your own unique magic. And hi to everybody in the future. You know, uh, you have your own unique magic and way of doing things. People want innovative projects. They want imaginative activities. Okay. They want you to be the silly goose. There's still a way to be professional and lead people in a confident way that is still inviting and open and different. Okay. I'm going to fix my camera really quick here. Oh, there we go. Okay, when it's dark like this in my room, sometimes I've got to fix my camera, so we may have to do that periodically through the session. Okay, so before we get into the workshop itself, I'm going to go over a couple of opportunities that I have coming up in 2025 that I'm very excited about. Okay, so I have a mentorship program. It's for emerging healers. It's called the Goddess Code. This is if you want to develop your spiritual gifts, your channeling abilities, learn how to hold sacred space for others. This is so you can build a foundation for your practice. If you want to take clients or integrate deeper into your community, become a content creator, spiritual galley, okay, helping others on their spiritual awakening paths. I have another mentorship called the Akashic Shaman. This is where we develop your shamanic practices of soul retrievals, timeline healing, and reading the Akashic records with deeper precision. This is to elevate your leadership abilities and for you to integrate multidimensional tools into your co-creation of paradigms in this new earth. Okay, so that is for seasoned practitioners. If you would like to apply for those, they are 4-month programs. We meet 1 hour a week for 16 weeks. I have a couple of people in here that are in my mentorships as well. Hello to y'all in the chats. And I will send out the application for those in the email with the replay. If you are not quite ready for a mentorship, I do offer Akashic record readings. These are 1 hour sessions where I meet on Zoom. These are to help you with your soul mission, help you create forward movement in your life and business. This is to understand the wisdom that your soul has carried throughout lifetimes and apply that to this incarnation. And so I have 6 sessions available in January. If you would like to use the promo code FAIRY, okay, FAIRY, I'm offering $100 off sessions for everybody that is participating in this workshop together. And so I will include all of the links for those in the replay email that I will be sending out later after this. Okay. So let's talk about intentions. Why are you here today? Okay. Your intentions are going to be the fuel for how you experience this workshop today. What do you want to experience? What do you want to feel? What do you want to get out of this? What do you want to learn? How do you want to grow? I would love to hear in the chat if anybody would like to share. Again, my intention for this is obviously for you to supercharge your magic, but for your inner children to feel seen, heard, and validated, and more confident in your gifts and your abilities and your talents, and to feel, one second. Oh, hold on. GSOX. If you will turn your camera off, or it may not be on. I'm not sure why it's showing up there. But y'all put your intentions in the chats, and then we'll read some of those as well. Okay, intentions, releasing inhibitions. Love that. Okay, things that may have been holding us back from creating forward movements. Oh, we've got people from all over the world. I'm so excited. Okay. Find more joy, love. Okay. We can all use more joy in our lives. Mental clarity. Okay, yes. To feel and sense I'm a newbie looking for guidance about connecting. Okay, great. And this is going to be for everybody. Okay, from beginners to advanced. Bring some humor back. Yes. Find play in my work. I need to stop being such a serious guy. That's where I was like, this is the place where you can let loose. Laughter is medicine. Absolutely. Y'all probably seen some of my content where I'm just laughing in every single video because it lifts your vibration, it lifts your frequency, it makes you feel better, it makes you have a different outlook on life. Well, thank y'all for sharing your intentions here. All right. So, what does magic mean to you? Magic is a giant umbrella. It means so many different things to so many different people. Is it something that is tangible? Is it intangible? Is it an internal experience? Is it an external experience? What does that mean to you? More expansion, growth within my spiritual business? Yes. But I would love to hear in the comments, what does magic mean to you? The supernatural manifested in reality. Okay. I love that. Bringing back to fun. And the reason I want everybody to share as well, everybody has different interpretations, and sometimes we'll see something like, oh, I never thought about it in that perspective before. Using all of your gifts. Magic is limitless possibilities. Love, passion, yes. Y'all have great answers. Magic is the mystery of life and consciousness, creativity and joy, mystical living. Oh my gosh. Y'all are so fun. I want to see what happens, the potential I could find. Fairy tales and fantasy. Magic and joy. Hey, yay. Glitter. I love glitter. Okay, so you can tell. Okay, see, speaking these things into existence and out loud and being in groups like this, it just feels so good. It being with our people. Okay, so what does magic feel like in your body? What are the sensations? What comes up when you are seeing and hearing all of these things that we are saying? Sometimes it's easier if you share a word association. What comes up for me is electric. Excitement, tingles. Oh, two people to put tingles. Fluttery, light, excitement, awe, wonder, butterflies in my tummy. That's super cute. Giggles, bubbles, bright. Yes. Okay, when unknown and scary, that's okay. We're going to be talking about that too. And how to clear those fears out. So that's valid. Okay, I see you and your inner children. We're going to take care of that. Enchantment, healing, buzzing is like an undercurrent running through my body. Fun, flow, connection. Yes. Okay. The reason that we want to describe these words on a deeper level is because it really does shift the frequency and vibration of what we're speaking into existence. It really does change our reality that's around us. When we just say magic, we all love that, right? But what does that mean specifically to you? And when you have a clear depiction of that, it supercharges your actions that you are taking throughout the day and the thoughts that you were thinking and the emotions, because now we have a goal in mind. Imagination, flow, connection, love. Okay. So let's talk about social anxiety because that is something that I dealt with for a long portion of my life. Let me know in the comments if that is something that you have also dealt with. One of the reasons is because I did not realize that I was an empath or a light worker, what that even means. I did not realize that I was such a hypersensitive person because nobody teaches that at school. And the parents and guardians and teachers that we have had, they're from a different generation as well. We're the ones that are a little bit more conscientiously self-aware and actualized about implementing tools and resources and figuring these things out within ourselves. Yes, other people's energy is intense. Yep, awkward. Yes, yes. Okay. What I experienced in childhood was a lot of trauma. Okay, like many of us. And my sensitivities were a negative internally and represented by people outside of me telling me, you're too sensitive all the time. Okay. Or why are you so emotional? So I would stuff all of that down inside of me. I know we have all been there before. Okay. And then you feel like you're bursting at the seams. Now, how I see my sensitivity is my greatest gift and blessing because it allows me to do things like this with y'all. and showcase to you that it can be your biggest blessing and gift as well when we understand ourselves on a deeper level and allow ourselves to express ourselves authentically. So there was a time in my life where I really did not like being around other people. It made me very anxious, ungrounded, overstimulated. That is because of the trauma that I experienced in childhood. So, how I was seeing people in my life, danger. Okay, they are going to hurt me, either consciously, unconsciously. I'm going to get psychically, energetically attacked. Before I knew what those terms were, it felt like I was just getting blasted in the face all the time with all this energy and their thoughts and their emotions and their feelings. I didn't realize at that time that I could read people on a very deep level. And so a lot of the things that I was experiencing and feeling were not even mine to begin with. Hey, I was absorbing other people's stuff. And so, what the behavioral loop that I found myself in when I got a little bit deeper into inner child healing was when I was out in public, I'm always looking for danger. It is a safety mechanism. I was frequency reading everybody in the room and looking in their auric fields of what's going on in their thought patterns and their subconscious. And because I had grown up in a lifestyle of so much anxiety and stress and chaos, that is all my body knew. Okay, that was actually safer for me than experiencing joy and magic and whimsy and peace because I don't know what those feel like. I don't know what that experience is like, but I do know what anger is like, people yelling, people having very chaotic fields, people trauma dumping. All these different things and all of these projections of their trauma onto me. I know we all have experienced that before. Okay. Let me drink some water because I'll be talking. The issue when I was going out in public, I just felt so overwhelmed because my central nervous system was consistently in fight or flight. Okay, and that does so much damage, not only to your physical body, but your mental body, your spiritual body, your emotional body. You feel so fatigued and so tired after having all these interactions with people, and you feel like you have to be on guard and you have to protect yourself and push people away. You're like, ugh, hey, get away from me. Let me know if this is resonating with anybody, if you have felt this in the past, or if this is something you are currently experiencing. So, again, as I got deeper into inner child healing, I realized I was creating these experiences, not consciously and not because I wanted to, but because that is what my inner children were doing to keep us safe. They said, I need to know who all the scary people are in the room so that way I can protect myself. But what I was doing was manifesting more of it because whatever you place energy and attention on is what you are going to get more of. And so I said, I have to break this loop. Okay. Hey, Jill, if you will turn your camera off and then you'll pop down from that screen up there. Okay. So I said, I have to break this loop. We got to work on our central nervous system. Okay, and grounding our energy before we go into places and spaces. And I know this seems like we're kind of going off topic here, but we'll swing it back around to feeling more magical. So when I went to the stores, okay, I do not recommend doing this at Walmart, okay, because even today when I go in there, the energy is a lot. There's so much going on. This is if we want to go to the grocery store, maybe we're going to Walgreens, we're going to the toy store, wherever you're going with your kids. I recommend at first, if you do have kids, let me say this before, if you have kids, we want to start doing this activity with ourselves in our car with just us. Okay. I know that's not a luxury for everybody because sometimes you're taking your kids everywhere with you or your partner, but when you do have the opportunities, please, please, please give this a try because it can completely change your life. Okay. Even take an extra trip so you can try this. So I would sit in my car and I would take a breath, turn off all the music, okay? Because we're not trying to get overstimulated. I would sit in my car and I would take a breath. Take a breath in through our nose, and you can do it with me now if you want. And take a breath out through our mouth. Take a breath in through our nose. And take a breath out through our mouth. And I would put my hand on my heart space, on my heart chakra, and I would say, hey, inner children, I want you to know that I love you. I appreciate that you have always kept me safe, but I want you to know that I am the higher self. I am leading us and guiding us and protecting us. I do not need for you to take charge. I am the one that will lead us through this experience. Okay, so what this is doing, one, is giving you a breath to get your central nervous system regulated, but also it is flipping a switch in your consciousness to say, this trauma that I have experienced in my life that created these energetic wounds in the first place do not have to do with me. These are things that affected my inner children. And when you do that, you are taking more of an objective viewpoint of the experience instead of being emotionally charged and triggered. Okay, because most of us just leap into things without checking in with our body and helping our physical self feel safe and secure. Now, the second step to this is saying, hey, inner children, when we get inside of this store, we're going to play a game. It's going to be like I Spy, Treasure Hunt, Indiana Jones. We're going to go on a quest. I want us to find the most magical things that we can in the store. Something that makes us laugh, somebody smiling. We're going to go over to the vegetables and the fruits and look at all of the colorful ones. Go to the flower section, the toy section, the makeup section. Who can find something the fastest? Okay, because we all know kids love that. It races. What that is going to do, excuse me, when you go into the store is we are redirecting our perception. Instead of looking at who is scary and intense in here and danger, 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 it's like, oh no, this is about to be a fun exploratory adventure. This sounds silly, okay, to your adult mind. And I thought so too when I first started. I went on 5 or 6 different trips and made sure to do this before I went in, and I had completely different experiences. The second part to this, or I guess the third part, is when you get back into the car. This is equally as important. You have a debrief with your inner children. We need to speak to them as the higher self and say, hey, did you notice that we were safe? We didn't have to frequency read everybody in the store. We were in our own reality bubble looking for things that are joyous and fun and whimsical. Tell me all the things that you found. Okay, because now we're going to have that pulled back up in our consciousness, and whatever energy you leave something in is where you will pick it back up next time. So if we're talking about the highlights of our experience with them, then they're going to be excited to go out again in the future. If you do this several times, it's going to integrate into your energy field, and your inner children are going to be like, ooh, I want to go out. I want to be around other people. When I go out in public now, I have the best time. I have the best conversations. People are always hyping me up and complimenting me, giving me things, holding the door open, laughing. Like, it's a great time, but that's because I completely rewired my neural networking from that trauma response. I said, when I go out, it's a vibe. Okay? But I have to actively participate in that experience with my inner children. And if there is something that happens in the store, right? Because we cannot control everything. I'll say, hey, that's okay. Every moment is a new opportunity to redirect to something more fun and exciting. Oh, let's go get back on our vision quest. Okay, for adventure and fun. Okay, does anybody have any questions about this exercise? Oh, yay. Okay, I love this idea so much. Great. Again, do it 5 or 6 times and you will see a huge difference, especially when it starts paying off really quickly. And that's going to help you with manifesting things in life in general. Okay? Because this is a continual practice that applies to everything. Most of us are having a lot of negative thinking or catastrophizing, getting into the void and doom land. Okay. And negative thoughts feed on negative thoughts. And then we start spiraling and then we end up manifesting negative things. This is going to teach you, hey, we've got to pivot into more positive thinking, which we're going to talk about that too. Okay, I love it. My inner child immediately wanted to go to the candy aisle. Yeah, it's all fun. Okay, all these colorful items. I do it with car park specials, etc. Okay. Redirecting your thoughts. Has anybody ever been to an optometrist before where you look through the different lenses and then they clink down so you can see clearer? Sometimes it's fuzzier, sometimes it's clear. Okay, yes, we've been to one before. These are perception lenses of our reality or our thoughts. And so something that I like to ask myself when we're headed down negativity land and I'm thinking about the worst case scenarios is this a magical thought? Is this a whimsical thought? Most of the time it's a no. When I'm in those places and spaces in my mind. But when I ask myself questions like that, it really helps me redirect. And it's like taking an optometrist lens and clinking it down over your perception of reality. Okay, well, if I am a magical, whimsical being, what is a thought that I would have instead? And so I want to give that exercise to you and your inner children because when we ask ourselves questions, it really helps you discover yourself on deeper levels, but they also serve as anchor points in your consciousness. Okay, so is this a magical thought? Is this a whimsical thought? Like putting face cream on and setting beauty intentions in the cream. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's a great example. Okay. Also, with these perception lenses, these optometrist lenses, we can ask ourselves, what is a thought that a fairy would have? Or a mermaid, or a unicorn, or a dragon. Okay, these are all different types of energy that we can embody. We all know what those characters and creatures are and what their kind of personality traits and their attributes. We're all channelers. Okay, I know that some people are channelers in more of a professional sense, or they're seeing clients, but everyone is a channeler. You can channel anything. It's not just galactic beings. We're channeling emotions, we're channeling thoughts. You can channel colors, you channel ideas and downloads. You channel from your inner children and your higher self. It is different frequencies that are moving through your body. Okay. This is why when we're feeling happy, sad, angry, frustrated, we don't feel those forever. Sometimes it feels like you're going to feel it forever, but in reality, you don't feel them forever. It is a frequency that is flowing through your body. Okay. So, same thing if you want to pull in unicorn energy, dragon energy, elf energy, and you can use those lenses. What would they be thinking? How would they be feeling? I love to do that when I need to feel strong and confident and sovereign. I say, can I pull more dragon energy into my body? I'll go look at dragon pictures on Pinterest or play dragon music on YouTube. It can really supercharge your energy and your intentions and the actions that you are taking. And so I'm saying this to your inner children to remind you of that when you're going through your day to day. There are also different archetypes that you can look through as well through those perceptual lenses. So a couple of examples of that: magician, alchemist, wizard, witch, sorceress, priestess, shaman. Even though I can hear some like inner children saying, well, I don't know if I'm a priestess or a shaman. It doesn't matter. Okay. You, okay, we're going to go off on a little sidebar tangent here. Okay. You are source. You are creation itself. Okay. The primordial energy of the beginning. You are connected to everything. Everything is a different perspective of itself. Okay. Source experiencing itself through all of these different people and animals and plants and trees. So even if you personally do not remember if you have past experiences and different lifetimes of a priestess and a shaman, you are connected to those archetypes in the ethers and in the astral in some form or fashion. You need to give yourself permission of, oh, wait, I am the all. I am totality. Okay. I have access to everything because I am everything. When you say that over your energy field is when those energies are accessible to you. And what I recommend as well is doing some research about these different magical creatures and mythological beings and these different types of archetypes, because the more that you get a feel for their energy and their personality traits and their attributes and their characteristics, the easier it is for you going to be, or the easier it'll be for you to call on those frequencies and that energy in your body. I am consistently doing that because it helps me recognize those archetypes within myself, and it helps me remember the different incarnations that I have also experienced, but it helps me recognize that within others as well. When I'm working with clients, sometimes they have magician, priestess, shamanic, alchemist versions of themselves that are ready to come forward and express themselves more and embody that in their life. But I have to recognize it to begin with. And so, and I have to be able to describe those things to them so that they feel it in their soul of like, oh yeah, this is me. And so I spend a lot of my free time diving into these different types of beings and archetypes. And so again, it's easier for me to be able to perceive them in others. I love all the synchronicity numbers y'all got going on over here in the chat. Okay, so let's talk about fears around channeling, because there are a lot of people that have been programmed and conditioned through social media to make it seem really scary. There are going to be ghosties and goblins and ghoulies that are going to come after you if you're in the astral. Or you grew up in religion or cultures that told you that these things are evil, or you have experienced persecution or witch wounds, not only in this experience, this lifetime, but other lifetimes. And so sometimes you will have fears that are deep within your Akashic records. And they feel kind of unexplainable of like, oh, I haven't really experienced persecution on that level here, so I don't know why that is affecting me like this. Well, that might be because it's a little bit deeper in your consciousness, in your records. Okay, I definitely have a lot of fears with channeling and fear my own magic for some reason. Okay, so we're going to get into some ways to work around that. Yeah, it could also be intergenerational trauma as well. So we need to stop watching scary things. Okay, I know that this is going to be hard for the persons who like spooky, scary things. If you really want to make a commitment to being or to be able to do astral and etheric work, you have got to stop watching things that are scaring your inner children. Okay, there will be a time and place where you can integrate those things back in, but you are going to make it so much harder on yourself if you are listening to podcasts like that, or movies, or TV shows, or reading books, because they're already scared to begin with, and you are just fueling that fear. Okay, I go back and forth with if I like scary movies or not. As of recently, I do not. Okay? And you have to think too, okay? It's activating your central nervous system. It is making your body go into fight or flight in worst case scenarios and catastrophizing. And then you are associating etheric and astral work with terror. So we have to give our inner children a break and say, hey, I'm going to focus on how can we make this more fun and magical and enjoyable, and so that you feel safer in getting up into these places and spaces. Because one of the biggest fears that I see with inner children is I don't know what's going to come through, and I don't know how I'm going to handle it. One, we need to have a conversation with them and say, hey, I'm the higher self. There's nothing that's going to get past me to get to you. Because a lot of the time we are thinking that it is us who is afraid when it's actually them. It's from all of the things that we have been programmed and conditioned with over all of the years. And a lot of that is instilled in childhood. Okay? With your different incarnations, if you're a timeline reader and you have had persecution and witch wounds happen elsewhere, we also can have a conversation with them and say, hey, I am my own individual. Okay? Thank you for trying to protect me, but I am in a completely different reality over here. I have tools, I have resources. I am the higher self to my inner children. I am guarding them, I am keeping them safe. I will know what to do if something comes through. Okay. Excuse me. So let's talk about imagination before we even get into Akashic and etheric work. Your imagination in your mindscape, we have been told for so long that that's not important or it doesn't matter, when actually it's literally the most important thing. You are creator and you are source, and everything that has been birthed into a reality came from imagination in the first place. And that is usually the missing key for people in manifesting. People try and take all of these outside action steps, and that will only get you so far. You will be grinding your gears. It's going to take you so much longer. It's like this very arduous process. When if we would think about our goals and our visions, go in internally and experience that in our mind in the way that we want it to unfold. What are the emotions that I am going to experience when this thing happens? And play it out all the way through and be daydreaming about it. That is how you collapse time and you feel a lot better about your manifestations. Because if we're only doing external work, that's where stress and anxiety are involved. Your manifestations, when they are brought into fruition and actualized on this 3D plane, they're not encoded with stress and anxiety. Okay, it is encoded with peace and love and happiness and joy. You've got to experience that internally first. That is how you get the correct directions to your manifestations. It is imagining it up here first. Your imagination is a lot safer for your inner children and for you, even now as an adult, than Akashic etheric channeling work. Your imagination is denser. It has to do with your physical body. One of the fears of channeling is, oh, I'm going to go out here and then I'm not going to be able to make my way back. Okay. Well, let's start in our imagination where we're the one creating everything anyway. Okay, I'm building all of this in my mindscape. It's not like something can get through. Okay. It is a known outcome up here. I am the one creating it. And so if we start there, and you start to notice like, hey, this is cool, this is fun, this is a great experience. I feel like I am in my body. I'm not going anywhere. Because when I do Akashic work with people. I am still in my body, but I am very disconnected from it. I can always find my way back, but I am not feeling as dense. Okay. I have was a form of astral projection, but I am completely removed from physical sage. Okay. I know how to get back, but when I'm out there, I'm out there. I didn't start there though. My inner children were so scared and terrified that I would not make it back. And so I said, hey, before we get into all that over there, we're literally just going to start in our imagination and play pretend and daydream about our manifestations and go on fun adventures. Okay, we're just going to start there. That was the window into me doing channeling. When people are going to do these internal journeys, what I see that is a big block is everybody is just starting in the dark. That's terrifying. That's scary. Okay, even for me as an adult, I don't like being in the dark. It has to do with our central nervous system and evolutionary processes. We need to, in our mind, just in our imagination, okay, before we do any channeling work, can we start out somewhere that's really bright and sunny? That is very grounding and safe. Maybe we start in a park or an apple orchard or by the ocean or a bridge over a lake. It could be whatever feels safe and secure to you, but that is where we need to start, especially for our inner children, somewhere that makes them feel safe and secure and is bright and airy, okay, and very roomy. We also need to activate as many physical senses as we can when we're doing imaginative work. So I like to burn incense, Palo Santo, sage. So that's activating my smelling senses. I like to have the lights on. And you can have different sprays that you can spray on your hand or hold crystals in them as well. You can put your feet on the ground instead of just kind of like hanging on your bed or your chair so you feel connected to Mother Gaia, even if it's in your house or your apartment. When you're in your imagination, you can ask yourself, what am I smelling here? What am I feeling? What does it taste like? Maybe the air tastes like cotton candy. Okay, what am I seeing with my eyes? What am I hearing? When you are activating your physical senses, it helps remind your inner children, I can get back to my body. I can still feel it. That is going to give them more confidence. Hey, and remember to tell them, like, hey, this is a model of our creation right now. We're not going out into the Akasha. We're not going out into the ethers yet. We're simply just in our own mind. Hey, that is where I started. And it segued into channeling, but they felt a lot more confident when we got there. Okay. This is also for practitioners if you are an energy healer. When I am working with clients, their central nervous system is really activated sometimes because they're going through emotional stuff or trauma stuff, or they're nervous about talking about things that they have experienced in life. And so when I go into their field, I will say, hey, can I take you somewhere that's more fun? Can I take you somewhere where you feel cozy and comforted? There are amusement parks we'll go to or by the lake. I have internal realms as well that I have built. There's a place that looks like Avatar, you know, with like the blue people. It's like very tropical. I have a cottage that I will take inner children or somebody's adult energy body to. It has a lot of blankets. I'll give them warm tea to drink. Just make it a very comforting experience. And then that is when they really start to open up. Their central nervous system feels grounded. They feel secure. They feel nurtured and cared for. You don't even have to just do that with clients. You can do that with your inner children before you go into your imagination as well. And it makes a huge difference. It's kind of like what we talked about with the external exercise of being in your car before we go into the store. It's doing a check-in. It's saying, hey, I'm the higher self. I've got you. I'm leading and guiding this experience. let's take a breath and center before we start doing imaginative work. Okay. Asking questions is so important. Hey, I am the queen of asking questions. When we are going into meditation and we are wanting to get insights and downloads from our higher self, or maybe even from your inner children, working through some trauma, or you're manifesting, people are going into meditation and waiting for something to happen, and then they don't, and then they get super frustrated. Especially if you're neurodivergent. Okay, this is going to be for you. We are solution seekers. We like to work things out. We like challenges. We like to be Sherlock Holmes. That's why you are the person that people come to advice for. Okay, I know everybody in here is an advisor in some capacity. That's because your brain works on a level that's, hey, I'm going to help you figure this thing out. Okay, so unfortunately, okay, it can be fortunately though. Okay, like I professionally give people advice and it's great, but that's because I switched gears and found my people instead of just people that were like trauma dumping and wanting band-aids put on things. Okay. People have been telling me their secrets and seeking my wisdom. Yeah, exactly. So you can utilize that practice in your meditations, in your imaginative scapes, in your channeling abilities. We need to get really good at asking ourselves questions. That is how you get to know yourself on deeper levels. That's how you figure out what beliefs are in your subconscious. That is how you make shifts in your reality and manifest the things that you want in life. Questions, questions, questions. Okay, it gets to the root of things and accelerates the process tenfold, a million times over. And so we're going to do some questions here together. Okay. My trauma has made me think of every possible outcome to situations I'm facing. Yes. See, that could be perceived as something negative, but at the same time, you're like, wow, look at me. I have like grown and evolved so much through this. Okay, so we're going to do a channeling activity together to help showcase to your inner children that this does not have to be scary. It can be something that is very fun and very enjoyable and very enlightening. And we're all doing it together. Okay, so when we are doing group channelings with one another, it also helps activate and intensify the experience because we're all merging our energy with one another. And so how this is going to work, and if let me do a preface, okay? If you do not see anything or hear anything, perceive anything, okay? That's fine. That is okay. Sometimes these exercises are not about getting it right or wrong. There's no pass or fail. I am not grading you on this. Sometimes it is about being in a group with people that are like-minded on similar paths and that you are seeing that this is safe and fun. And it can be a place for your central nervous system to relax. And so that's totally okay if nothing comes up. What we do want to say over self is, I believe that this is going to work because your intentions are very important and your belief in self. And so if you go in saying like, oh, this is not going to work for me, 9 times out of 10, it won't. But if you say, hey, I am a magical being of lights. I can do anything. I am source. I am the creator. I am the all. I have access to everything. That is what will happen. Okay, those are those optometry lenses that we can wear. What was the other thing I was going to say? Hold on. Oh, it'll come back if it's meant to. Okay. We are going to have Disney and Pixar and cartoon characters that I am going to pair you up with, or you get to choose which one that you want to associate with. Okay, so the reason that we are going to work with cartoon characters, when people think about channeling, oftentimes they think about like galactic beings or spirit guides, ethereal cosmic beings. That's all well and good, but your inner children don't know them. Right? A lot of the times And that's what they're nervous about. Like, I don't know what they're going to look like. I don't know what they're going to be like. Can I trust them? And so this is why we're going to do with cartoon characters because this will be a more comforting experience for them. When we talk about channeling other beings, what all that means is that you have access to their perspectives. Okay? They are like a friend that is giving you advice. It's not like something just completely takes over your body like a possession. Okay. It's a stream of consciousness that is working in tandem alongside of your consciousness. And so that's why I wanted to pick cartoon characters because we already have an idea of what they're like, their personality traits, their characteristics. We know what they look like and what they sound like. And so it'll be an easier partner for you to work with. And so before we get deeper into that, we're going to pull up our characters and you pick whoever your inner children want to partner with. Okay, they're like, ooh, that one's for me. I'm going to screen share here. Ooh, okay. Okay. Can y'all see my screen? Perfect. Okay, thank you. Okay. So we have Remy from Ratatouille, Ariel from The Little Mermaid, Mary Poppins, Simba from The Lion King, Sully and Boo from Monsters, Inc., Scooby-Doo, Sailor Moon, Winnie the Pooh, Lilo and Stitch, or you pick Lilo or Stitch, Bugs Bunny, Dora the Explorer, Jake and Finn, or Jake or Finn, from Adventure Time, Naruto. So those are our characters, okay? So whichever one calls out to you, and I'm going to go back through them again. It's easier if we see pictures of them because then you're going to have an imprint in your imagination when we do our channeling activity with one another. And y'all can put in the chat who you choose. Okay. I would pick one because of the activity that we're going to be doing. And let me explain that too, and then it'll make more sense. Okay, so I'm gonna stop share here. I'm gonna pull up our next one. Oop, how do I exit out of here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. We are going to be going to a tea party in Wonderland, where Alice is from, Alice in Wonderland. I am going to read a story that I wrote, and this is going to help activate your physical senses so that your inner children feel more grounded into the experience. And when we get to the tea party, your partner, your cartoon partner, is going to ask questions about you. Okay, so you can understand yourself on deeper levels. When we are connecting with a different energy like this, like people do with spirit guides or ethereal cosmic beings, you are also taking on their energy, this cartoon character, and their perspectives and their experiences as well. And so this is a safe way to do that for you and your inner children. So we're going to read through this together, and then I'm going to show you the questions that we have, and then we'll go into a 7 or 8 minute meditation where we're going to listen to music. If you get answers for all of the questions, I love that for you. If you only get one answer, that's perfect too. Okay, if you have a completely different experience than the questions that were asked, that is all right as well. Whatever happens is perfect for you. This is supposed to be fun. Okay, not a graded assignment. Okay, so I'm going to check the chat really quick before I read this. Okay. Oh, Sully. Yes, Sully was the Blue Monsters Inc. guy. Okay, I'm super torn between Naruto and Ariel. Ask your inner children which they would prefer. Okay. Okay, Angela, that's fine. I'll have the recording. Okay, lots of Mary Poppins. Okay. Okay, so here we go. You step, and you can close your eyes or keep them open, whatever you're most comfortable with. You step through an iron gate covered in moss, leading into a garden surrounded by tall hedges. A wooden table winds through the space, set with teapots of different shapes and colorful plates of treats. The chairs are unique as the garden itself, like one resembling the moon, another made of seashells, another an upside down boot with purple shoelaces. At the head of the table, Alice stands holding a teapot shaped like the Cheshire Cat. She waves with excitement. Ah, there you are, right on time. And you've brought your guest. Wonderful. They're here to help you discover something special about yourself. She gestures towards your seat, smiling. Tea parties are where the most wonderful ideas bloom. The teapot nearest you begins to pour on its own, filling your cup as Alice clasps her hands. Ah, it's starting already. The best adventurers always do. She settles into her chair, watching with delight as the conversation with your party guest begins. Okay, so these are going to be our questions here. So your guest, your cartoon character partner, is going to ask, why do you think that we were paired to attend this party together? What kind of chair are you sitting in, and how does it represent you? If the Cheshire teapot could talk, what message would it have for you? What does sitting at the table with all of the guests mean to you? Okay, so whatever question seems the most fun or important to you, you can dig through that in your imagination. Okay, in the Wonderland at our tea party. And I'm going to keep this up on the screen because sometimes it's easier to come back and read it and then go back into your imagination. Now, I'm going to stop sharing really quick so I can turn my microphone on so y'all can hear. Okay, we're going to do a sound check. Can y'all hear that music? Perfect. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? And again, we'll go in for about 7 or 8 minutes and then come out and share our findings. Oh, Rainbow Bright came in. Yeah, if you have a different character as well that speaks to you more that I didn't list here, like feel free to go with that character. I'm going to pull the questions back up. Thank you. Feel free to go with that character as well. I just like to have physical representors so it's easier for your mind to latch on to it. Okay, so we'll go back to our questions here. Okay. I'm going to turn my camera off so I don't distract y'all. And then we'll be back in 7 to 8 minutes. right, everybody. You can open your eyes if you had them closed. Okay, so how was everybody's experience? If you want to let us know in the chats. Also, what questions were answered for you? Okay, fun. Anyone else end up crying? Okay. that might be from the inner child healing that we are receiving today of like, oh yeah, this is great. Okay, this is safe, this is fun. Okay, fun was so fun. All of them light tears. Yeah, if y'all want to share any specific insights as well, I'd be happy to read those. Okay, let's see. So that I can, okay, one, so that I can see the magic in the little things in life. Oh, that you're paired together to see that love. Okay, Cheshire Cat told you to believe. I love that as well. Solid advice. Okay. Everyone at the table means I get to see and meet all the different magic there is in the universe. Oh, love. Love this. Fun but got teary. Okay, everybody's getting emotional. I'm glad that y'all felt loved and accepted and felt and seen and heard and validated through this experience. Okay. Oh, you had Darth Vader. Okay, love that. He asked about life, happiness, what I wanted. We talked for a moment. Once I answered a specific question, he transformed to Anakin and smiled. Oh, that's really interesting. With you having Darth Vader to begin with, kind of like a darker character, and then kind of shedding that form to his true core essence, that sweeter side of himself, Anakin when he was younger. Thank you for sharing, that was great. Okay, let's see. Can I scroll with my finger? Okay, no I cannot. Okay. I sat on a mushroom made of meringue. Cute. We're invited because we're all mad here and don't quite fit in, but in an accepting way. Love. Yeah, we're kind of all at our own, like, 3D reality tea party right now as well. Okay, the Cheshire Cat was sassy. Like, about time you were here. Okay, good. Okay. Oliver experienced inspiration for my big spa dream. Oh, great, for your manifestation that you're wanting to bring in. Building community at the table. Love, love, love. Oh, yay! I'm so glad y'all had a good time on the experience. And see, that is a huge difference, okay? Than when we are just going in our imagination and like chilling and waiting for something to happen. It's like, hey, let's set the scene. Let's make it as vivid and grounded and physical senses activated as possible, and it really does help make it a completely different experience for you and for them. And then when you pair it with questions, it's like, oh, I have a task here, okay? I have an intention. I am seeking knowledge and wisdom and insights, and then it's easier and more clear to hear that mirrored back to you. So this is something that you can take with your inner children, and even if it's not this experience specifically, but you can world build like this, so that one day when you do want to do astral etheric work, your inner children feel a lot more confident with you leading the path and saying like, hey, nothing spooky scary happened over there. So I know that I have the tools and techniques for when I do want to start doing this work over here. All right. Okay, so I'm going to stop screen sharing here, and then we'll come back. Okay, so we're going to talk about some different activities that we can do to infuse more magic into our life. These are things that I have personally done in mine that have got me to the place that I am at now. So, guided meditations. When I first started wanting to get into my imagination, one, I don't see anything, just so y'all know, okay? If y'all, I know some of y'all already know that, but it's a black screen up in my mind. And I am still capable of giving sessions to people. And the reason I say that is because some of us do not see mental images like other people, clear voyance is not our strongest ability. That does not prevent you from being a channeler or being in your imagination. I feel images instead. And that's where I'm using my hypersensitivity and my emotions to lead and guide the path. And so if that might be you too. And I always like to say that for the persons that struggle with seeing images in your mind's eye. But guided meditations are really beneficial, specifically child meditations. I used to do do these ones where we go to Unicorn Land and Pirates in the Sky, and ones with animals, and go into the Emerald City, all these different ones. There's a woman named, or her channel's named New Horizons on YouTube. She has hundreds and hundreds of meditations for children. So I used to do them with my son when he was younger, but then when I wanted to get into channeling, I started doing them for myself with my inner children. Because my imagination muscle was not strong enough. Because I had been told for so long, that's not important, that stuff is not real, and so I was very much cut off from my intuition or daydreaming. Okay, I was very logical and analytical, as a lot of us are from programming and conditioning. And so I said, okay, how can I bridge that gap with my inner children in a way that feels safe? And I need somebody to lead and guide me through a world building experience so that I can implement that as a tool and practice into my life. And so it was teaching me how to do it at the same time. And so I always suggest that for beginners. Okay, even now, I love listening to imaginative guided meditations because sometimes I don't feel like world building that day. And so I recommend that for you and your inner children. I listen to Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. I don't know if anybody is into that. I'm brand new to it. It's where a group of persons will get, and I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons expert, so if there's anybody in here that is, I'm going to do my best with this description. Okay. But there's a lot of people that get together in a party and they have a quest or adventure that they're going on, and they all play different characters. Like one might be an elf and one might be an orc and one is a fairy, all different types of creatures, and they just go on this adventure together. They usually have some type of intention or a goal. And so I have found podcasts that you get taken on these campaigns. I watched one with drag queens. That one's really good. It's called Queens on a Quest. Highly recommend. Very funny, very magical, but that helps me get in that type of adventurer spirit and call upon those archetypes. I listen to role-playing ASMR. So, we're going to the witch's potion shop. Or we're going to the Adventurer's Tavern, going to the Magical Library. One, ASMR is very soothing for your central nervous system. It's very good for people that are neurodivergent. And you add another layer onto that where you're putting those optometrist lenses over your eyes and saying like, oh, this is me too. I am imbuing this energy into my field by listening to this mysticism in a very fun, calming, relaxing manner. And not everybody knows that they have those type of ASMR. Usually we just see the ones where people are like clicking their nails on things or playing with slime. It's a whole world of fantasy ASMR out there. It's great. I watch a lot of anime and cartoons, specifically that are about quests and adventuring, because it gets me in that spirit. I watch a lot of TV and movies that have magical aspects to them. You know, like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. I have liked those storytelling nighttime stories on YouTube. Oh yeah, there's so many options on YouTube. Okay, Full Metal Alchemist, yes. Okay, so reading fantasy books. I am going to send everybody a list of all of my favorite ones. Okay, there's going to be a section that's specifically for inner children. If you need to stay away from scary, spooky things, we need to stay in the inner child section. Okay, until we graduate to implementing more intense things back into our reality. There's going to be a section for you as an adult as well. Okay, that's a little more intensive on that scale over there. So you need to speak with your inner children and see where you're at, okay, in your consciousness and your energy field. But I have tons of things for them, specifically TV shows, movies, books, animes. Okay, but I'll send that list out to everybody. Spending time in nature alone. I know not everybody has that luxury, okay, and you want to make sure that you're in a safe environment to do that as well. I have found that when I go out into the forest by myself without stimulation, okay, I'm not listening to podcasts, I'm not listening to music, I am literally just out there with Mother Gaia and the nature spirits and my inner children. It helps me come back to my own truths and my values and me being a magical person, because there's so much out in our 3D reality. No dog, just me out in the woods. I mean, I have dogs, I'll take them too sometimes, but oftentimes I just need to really reconnect back into myself. And nature is a reflection of you as well. There's so much in our 3D paradigm reality that is anti-magic, okay, that is very much promoting stress and anxiety and overstimulation. Sometimes you really need to reset to your natural homeostasis, which is being a magical being, which is being grounded, which is being centered, which is being a proficient channeler, okay, which is you understanding that your sensitivity is your greatest gift. But you have to cut through all the noise sometimes to reconnect back into that version of you, your multidimensional self, your higher awareness. So sometimes you do kind of need to be in this like echo chamber where you don't have a lot of things coming into your peripheral to distract you or having you get on these negative loops or catastrophizing, all those things that we talked about before. Being out in nature by yourself can be very healing as long as we're safe. Okay, we have a place to do that. Okay, just spending time out in nature in general is great. Going to a park, going to a lake. It doesn't always have to be by yourself. You just being outside is better than not. Okay, looking at the horizon. One of my academy students mentioned this, and I was like, oh, that's brilliant. If you've ever been to a mountainscape, or you're at the ocean, or you're simply looking up at the sky, I know it's not necessarily the horizon, but it really helps you see that reality is so full of infinite possibilities. You're seeing the vastness of infinity. Okay, what you can experience in life. And the reason for that is because we're indoors so often, like in your apartment, in your home, in your office, at your job, in shops, in restaurants. A lot of us live in cities where there's so many buildings. Like you cannot see the horizon anywhere. I know that when I am out and about in those places where I can see so far ahead of me is when I have so many insights and downloads come in, because I'm looking through the lenses of a higher perceptual awareness of me. I'm like, oh, all those problems that I had aren't bothering me as much now because I feel so much more open and expansive. I can see things from a higher plane. Okay, so I highly recommend that. Looking at pictures on Pinterest. Even today, okay, I was feeling a little anxious and I went on there and I was looking at clothes with bugs on them. Just for the fun and the whimsy, and because I like bugs and how fun to have them on your clothes. But I go on there all the time and I'll just be looking at unicorns and dragons and elves and fairies and looking at magical, whimsical gifts. And it completely resets my energy field. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot for a minute like who I actually am inside. And it will help shift your perceptions to start noticing things like that in your outer reality and bring you more experiences that feel like those images and those gifts. Remember, whatever we're placing energy and attention on is what we get more of. I love TikTok. I love Instagram. I love doom scrolling as well. Okay. That's very overstimulating for us hypersensitive persons. And oftentimes we get caught in the void trap and start feeling a lot of anxiety and depression because of the overwhelm of picking up on everybody's emotions and circumstances in social media. Okay. We can take a break from that. Okay. And go and do things that fuel our magic cup. Looking at magical pictures on Pinterest. watching fantasy ASMR, Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, putting on an anime, okay? Sometimes we don't always need to be blasted with other people's energy. We need to reset to our own homeostasis. I love going to music festivals and raves, if anybody else here enjoys that, because it's different than concerts. Like music festivals and raves, everybody's like very neurodivergent and they're dressing up in these like very silly costumes and everybody's dancing very wonky and we've got the bebop music going. It's a place for you to really express your alien self. I'm organizing a festival at the moment. Love that. It's so incredibly healing. It really is. It's a place for your inner child to really come out and play and experience, curiosity, because there's just so much going on. But I really recommend trying one at least once in your life. It was one of the most healing things that I have ever experienced. That is actually what started my spiritual awakening journey in the first place, because I had been programmed and conditioned through like religion and culture and society, like from my childhood. And then when I started going to music festivals and raves, I was like, oh, everything I have been told is a lie. All of these persons who are so vastly different from me are all about love and community and connection, and they're being weirdo alien beings, and that's fantastic and funny and silly, and I can be that way too. Like, it really helped me come back to my authenticity. Wearing colorful clothes, listening to fun, magical music. Sometimes when I'm doing meditations, I'll just listen to adventure music, like from video games. Like, I will just set a timer for 10 minutes and listen to like Zelda music or Mario music or whatever, and I go on a whole meditative, imaginative journey of this adventure. And my inner children and I have so much fun. Adventure music, highly recommend. Wearing colorful makeup, wearing glitter, colorful hair, expressing yourself in that way can be so fulfilling. I made a big shift in my aesthetics as I got deeper into my spiritual awakening journey, and I cannot express to you how much joy it brings me for people to say, oh my god, you look like a fairy. Oh my gosh, I love your makeup. I love your glitter. I love how colorful you are. It really gives people permission to do that in their own lives as well. Like, I'm a professional person, right? Outside, doing my business stuff, but I'm still like successful in being alternative, the rainbow sheep. Okay, and it brings me a lot of joy to see inner children say, oh wow, I can be like that and be an adult. I think it's very beneficial for you, but also for other people. And then having home decor. It looks like a unicorn threw up in my house. It decorated it. I have so many colorful, whimsical arts, decorations, stuffed animals, tapestries, curtains. It's a vibe. But I understand that what I place energy and attention on is what I get more of. One of the biggest intentions in my life is to fill my magic cup up as much as I can every single day. And what I get out of that, because reality works like an algorithm, okay? You tell it what you like and you get more of it. So when I'm doing all of these things that I mentioned, that's how I'm here doing this with y'all right now. Talking about how to make your life more magical, because I live and breathe that every single day. But I made it a huge importance in my life. I'm in a place now with my sensitivity and energy reading where I can tell where my magic cup is empty. I am burnt out, busted down, and exhausted, and I say, what I need to do right now is redirect my energy and attention and do some of these things here. If you are neurospicy, it is often difficult to remember these things when you are low on dopamine, or if you are experiencing executive dysfunctioning, if you are in the saddies, if you experience seasonal depression. Okay, so I recommend we keep a list in our phone. Every time you do something that makes you feel magical or fun or connects you to your inner childs, we need to put it in the notes app. Because when you are in a low space, you can say, oh, what are the magical things that I can do? And then you can just go and say, which one of these do I have energy before, and then experience that and get yourself back into an elated state of being. Okay, that was really fundamental to me because I would forget those things. Okay. And if y'all have other activities that y'all like to do that make you feel magical, feel free to share them in the chat. I'm sure other people would love to grab a hold of those as well. Okay. I have some questions for y'all with your soul mission. One of the things that takes us out of feeling magical is getting caught up in our stress and anxiety and the things going on in the 3D reality, okay? With your job and your kids and all the things, life circumstances. So again, when we're asking questions to ourselves, it pops down those optometrist lenses and your perceptions of reality and helps recenter you and anchor you back into your multidimensionality. Oftentimes we're so wrapped up in our individual experience that we forget that there's bigger facets to us, like the world, the collective, our communities, connection. Okay, we just get so hyper-focused. Okay, so these questions are going to help snap you out of that when you are in those spaces, and you can put them in your phone if you want as well. Okay, what do I want to create while I am here? What do I want to create while I am here? This can be something that is, they're not smaller or bigger, but something that is more tangible to your now experience. Like, oh, I want to create this art project. But it can also be, what do I want to create as my legacy and my vision while I am here during this incarnation? What do I want to create for others? What do I want to create for myself? What do I want to create for my kids or my parents or my partner or my dogs? Okay, what do I want to create? Because you're a creator being. That is what you came here to do. How do I want to inspire others? How do I want to inspire others? Do you want to help them laugh? Do you want to help them feel safe, seen, heard, and validated? Do you want to help them feel confident? Do you want to help them feel empowered? When we ask these questions, you're stepping outside of your problems. And this is pushing you towards integrating deeper into your communities and collectives. It is making you step outside of yourself. Okay, so what do I want to create while I'm here? How do I want to inspire others? Okay. So we are going to do one more channeling activity for those of you that would like to stick around. I know we're at an hour and a half now, but if you want to stick around to do one more, we're going to do one. I have to use the restroom. I don't know about anybody else. I've been drinking a lot of water. So we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back, and then we'll get into the next one that we have here. Okay, and if somebody will please remind me to hit record when we come back. Okay. All right. Okay. So I am going to read another meditation introduction story. Let me get our music here. And then we're going to have questions yet again. This time, your partner is going to be your inner child or your inner children, whomever you would like to take with you, okay? Some people are working with one inner child, and that is perfect. I love that for you. Other people have graduated on to working with multiple inner children, so if you want to take them all with you, love that as well, all right? So they are your partner. And then you'll need your notepad and your pen as well for your questions. All right, and again, you can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever is the most comfortable for y'all. We're getting ready for an amazing adventure. Let's hop on the magic school bus that can fly. We'll soar through the bright, clear sky. Outside the windows, there's a world full of possibilities. Colorful clouds, flying dolphins giving us high fins, and shimmering rainbows filled with butterflies. Suddenly, the bus glides to a stop in front of a floating platform. Welcome to the Lego Builders Observatory. This place is pure creativity. Everywhere you look, there are enormous Lego creations. A dinosaur made of bubbles, a disco llama, and even a giant taco Ferris wheel. Oop. Oh no, what is going on? Okay, at the heart of the observatory, there's a row of Lego Builder telescopes. These telescopes are powered by your imagination. When you pick one up, you know it wants to help you create something incredible. As you look through it, a magical new Earth starts to form, piece by piece. You can design anything. Maybe you see cities filled with art and music, forests where animals and humans live together in harmony, or streets paved with sparkly crystals that light up as you walk. Every idea you have snaps into place like Lego bricks, creating a world where everything works together beautifully. After you have built your vision, we gather around the great building pool, a glowing, swirling lake of glitter that looks like a living kaleidoscope. We place our Lego creations into the pool, and it merges our ideas into a fun and whimsical planet. This new Earth is filled with joy, creativity, and infinite possibilities. And we get to bring some of it back with us to start creating today. So we have looked through our Lego Builder telescopes to help us create this new reality together here on the Earth that we are currently on. Okay, so here are our questions. Imagine you can transform your city. Okay, the one that you're from, that you live in right now. Imagine you can transform your city into a more enchanting place. What elements or features would you add? Picture a world where we have super fun modes of transportation. Okay, however you want to get around or people get around. What would that look like? How would it work? Let's envision every building is covered in plants, flowers, and has a rooftop garden. How would it change the community or the ways that we connect? And lastly, what is one piece of wisdom everyone should know about being a caretaker of Mother Gaia? All right, so we are going to do what we did previously, where I'm going to play some music, and we'll go about 7 or 8 minutes, and then we'll come back and share our findings with our inner children at the Lego Observatory. Now I'm going to check the chat, see if anybody has any questions before we do it. Okay, yay! I love that y'all love the prompt. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to turn my camera off so I do not distract y'all. Oh, maybe. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, everyone, you can open your eyes if you had them closed and come back to this plane. Alright, so I would love to hear in the comments what your insights and your findings were for our questions here. And I'll give everybody a moment. Yes, water is life. We got some on our break. She is us and we are her. What we do to her, we do to ourselves. What we put in ourselves, we put in her. Love that with Mother Gaia. And true, facts. Go-karts and rainbow slides for transportation. Oh, that sounds super fun. Love. We would float around in Glinda's bubbles for travel. That's fabulous. All the plants give off a scent of love and peace. Oh, love that. We travel in bubbles, floating from place to place. Music is food. And we feed each other with songs. Oh, that's so imaginative. Trampolines and water slides. This reality sounds amazing. And even though these sound really silly, or sometimes don't even sound tangible, who knows? Like, us empaths and light workers are all coming together to really push forward what we're able to experience together in this incarnation. And this is going to help us think outside of the box and expand what we think that we are capable of as a collective. Okay, I'm gonna stop share here. Okay, so one of the things that I find that is very important, I had somebody ask me the other day, how do I feel magical more of the time? Oh, are y'all having issue with the chat? Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, it's still coming through. Running and playing together on green. Guy is swimming. Guy is generous, and we have great affection for her. Oh, I know she appreciates that. Okay, so somebody asked me, how can we be more magical or feel more magical more of the time? We need to claim I am a magical being. There are a lot of times where we are waiting for something externally to prove to us that we are, when that is an internal experience that is projected out here and then mirrored back to us. We have to remember, I am the creator, I am source. This is part of my core essence. It is a miracle that I am alive and breathing. Like, how complicated it is to have a human body with all of the moving parts and cells and DNA and put all together. But you created you. Okay, you are a miracle creator at the same time. And one of the examples that I wanted to give for this is you actually created this workshop. I know it seems like I did and I put it together. Your inner children said, I need something to remind me who I am. And I heard your call on the other side of the ethers, and I downloaded all of this information from your inner children. What they wanted to experience, the fun that they wanted to have, the awarenesses and the perception shifts. This is all coming from your psyche. Okay, this is a product of your magic. Okay, and us all collectively coming together to co-collaborate an experience, but it's coming from you. I am a conduit that brought this into fruition and put it together and made the outline and whatever, all this stuff, but you are the one that created it. Okay, so I wanted to say that so that they feel more confident and empowered of oh yeah, I did, I remember, and she heard. Okay, so a couple other things. We need to be asking our inner children for advice. We don't do that enough. Okay, because we think higher self is all-knowing, and you know what, we love them and they're very wise, but so are your inner children. Your higher self, sometimes we have multiple higher selves, just like we have multiple inner children. Okay, we're on this timeline of different chapters of our life, and you can tap into different higher selves. Sometimes our higher selves are very serious. Okay, especially the ones that are closer to you if you're in a stressed out, anxious reality. Why don't you go talk to those kids okay, inside, that are looking through filter lenses of wonderment and joy and whimsy, okay, and fantasy. They're going to give you a completely different answer than your higher self sometimes, or what you're trying to retrieve for yourself. They have very unique ideas and perspectives. When I am stuck in life and my business, for sure, I will ask my higher self, but I will also ask my inner children, because they're going to give me a completely different answer, and it's going to be way more fun. Okay, my inner children helped me with this because originally I had a whole different plan for it, and that was coming through my higher self lens. And I said, hey, inner children, I really want this to be more for inner children. For other people, what do y'all got for me? And they're like, oh, you should do this and this and this and this and this. But I wouldn't have pulled that through unless I asked them as well. They are also wise. Okay, inner children are not looking through as many filter lenses and distortions as you are. Okay, they're not experiencing stress on the level that you are. So we want to connect back to them anyway. And so let's help them feel important, that they matter, that their voices speak life into our reality. Because a lot of us, we didn't get that in childhood. So you can be the one that provides that space for them to feel more confident. Okay, of hey, my opinions are cool too. Let's see. Oh, and how can I make this more fun? Every single thing that you do in life from now on, I want you to ask, how can I make this more fun? It will drastically shift the things that you're doing. It's one of those anchor points to center back into your multidimensional awareness and look through your inner children's lenses. Because that's what we want anyway. We want things to be fun. We want it to be a vibe. We want it to be easy. We want to be able to channel what we need to through. But if you're so serious and professional and uptight and stressed and anxious, like that's so far away from fun and magic and whimsy. So we need to ask those questions again. Is this a whimsical, magical thought? How can I make this more fun? Inner children, what you got for me? That will help you step outside of yourself. My inner children have literally been begging me to have more fun. I even wrote that on my mirror on Monday. Great. Love that external reminder where we can see it when we're in the bathroom. Okay. And lastly, we're on a quest. Everything is a quest. Everything is an adventure. I'm going to the grocery store. It's a quest. I'm going to go get my taxes done. I'm on an adventure. I'm going to put air in my tire. We're going on a quest. That is going to make everything in your life feel more whimsical. It makes it feel like a video game. It makes it feel less serious than it actually is. It makes it less taxing. It makes it more imaginative and exploratory, especially if you're adding things in like the activities that we talked about. Like really, like dedicate yourself to adding as many magical activities you can into your life in the next couple of months and see how vastly different your life is a couple months from now. There are wild things that happen to me all day long. Like wild signs and synchronicities, which you're the one creating the signs and the synchronicities in the first place. I know that we like to say like, oh, our spirit guides and our higher, babe, it's you. Okay, your creator, your source. And so if you're requesting, hey, I want the absolute most fantastical things to happen throughout my day, and I'm going to pay energy and attention and adding more things like that into my life, then that is the experience that you will have. Okay, before we finish up here, a couple of reminders. If you are a emerging energy healer who wants to work on your channeling and your spiritual gifts and aligning with your soul mission into your practice with yourself, clients, your community, I have the Goddess Code Mentorship 4-month program. If you want to implement and integrate shamanic practices like soul retrievals, timeline healing, reading the Akashic Records with more precision, paradigm shifts in the collective, you being a leader of those, I have the Akashic Shaman Mentorship. That is also a 4-month program. I'm going to send out the application. I am taking 2 persons in January. If you would like to do an Akashic record reading, those are 1-hour sessions. We meet on Zoom. We're going to talk about how to create forward movement in your life and your business. And we can talk about other things like your soul mission, your gifts as well. I'm taking 6 spots in January. That is what I have for my calendar. If you want $100 off the session, use the promo code FAIRY. Okay, FAIRY. Also, I'm going to put that in the link here if you'll want to check it out afterwards. You can find my website in my bio on my social medias. They're all under Soul Harmony Magic, which I'm going to be changing that soon. I'm very excited. We've received some upgrades. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a rebrand soon. So I would love to hear in the comments what everybody's biggest takeaway was. A lot of y'all know that that is my most favorite question to ask because it makes you sift through everything that you just learned and integrate on a deeper level. But also highlight like, hey, this is the most important thing to me in this chapter of my life right now. So what was our biggest takeaway today? Thank you. I will have more of that fun, happy meetings. Good. I need to lighten the F up. Yes. Facts. Like everything does not have to be so serious. I am safe. That makes me so happy to hear that you said that, Brandy. Like, that is one of my greatest missions in this lifetime is to help people's inner children feel safe and secure within. Because for a long time, I did not, and neither did my inner children. And I'm in this place now, and it's so much better. Okay, so I'm glad that they felt that. It makes me really happy. Joy in participating. Yay. I'm glad that y'all also participated. It makes a completely different experience as well. Biggest takeaway, there are more roads available that I might not be allowing. Yes. go look at the horizon. So you can see tuning into the inner child in me. Channeling cartoon characters is a thing. Yeah, you can channel anything. You can look through the perception lens of anything. You can channel colors. You can channel rocks. Like, you can channel this avocado that I have over here. Everything has its own Akashic records and its own perspectives and experiences as well. Community, yay! Inviting more whimsy into my life. Remember to access the inner children to have more fun with psychic sessions, for sure. They can make it so much more of a fun experience as well. Like, I can do sessions with clients all the live long day. I'm looking through their adult human lenses. I'm like, can y'all's inner children come forward? Because they're more fun sometimes. And they just make it a better experience. To give myself more credit. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I was telling y'all, I'm so proud of y'all for being here in the first place and hearing that inner calling from your inner children of like, hey, we really need this. I really need to see myself as who I truly am. I want to be confident. I want to be empowered. I want to be around other people that are like me. Okay, that are celebrating me and honoring me for being the rainbow sheep and hypersensitive. Okay, I don't even like to call it hypersensitive, but because it's a blessing. Okay, but I want to grow and evolve and feel more safe and secure in my reality. So blessings to you as their higher self for creating this experience for them. Your avocado has been saying hi and waving to me all night. You know what? This is the first time Mr. Avocado has been over here. He usually sits in a different place over there. And I was like, I bet everybody's inner children would like him. So I moved him over here for y'all. Magic is a currency, a product, and an experience, and everything in between. I love that. Magic is a currency. It is. I use magic as a currency all the time. One of the things that I really like to do, if somebody gives me a compliment or really hypes me up or like goes out of their way for something or just like giving me like really good energy, I will talk to their higher self and I'll say, hey, I want to give them a fairy blessing today. Like, I want something super magical and incredible to happen to them. Like something very abundant. Like, I'm sharing that energy. And when I started doing that, what I'll tell them is like, I hope you have a very magical day, like to their human that I am speaking to, and I can just see their whole entire aura like light up, and that I know that their higher self is taking that energy that I just pushed to them and infusing that into their manifestations. I have just started that. Oh, yay! It's great. It's a good exchange to have with people. Okay. Maybe not fairy, but healing. That's great too. Yes. And remember, your healing can be seasoned. Okay. Your perspectives can be seasoned. And what I mean by that is I'm looking through the lenses of a dragon. I'm looking through the lenses of a fairy or an elf. I'm looking through the lenses of a shaman or a priestess because I am the all. I have access to everything. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm going to get all the resources over to y'all, the list of the magical movies and TV shows and the books. And then I'll have the replay as well, the applications, my website link, and then anything else that I think of that would be important to include. Okay, and thank you all for being here today. This is so much fun. I was so excited. I have been excited for weeks. And the closer it got to, I was like, yes, this is going to be amazing. Thank you so much. I love this very unique workshop. I'm glad that you said that, Maxine. Remember, if you an energy healer in here and a practitioner, you do your workshops how you want to do it. Okay, because then it's going to resonate with people that are closer to your soul essence. And that's who you will align with. That's who we want to be working with anyway, okay? Thank you for sharing this space and taking us on this journey. Yes, it was my pleasure to be your fairy camp counselor on this adventure together. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love y'all so much and your inner children. I'm giving them a big fairy squeezy hug.